How was working with Bill overall? I assume that's not something that you had on your bingo card back when you were in college.
Dude, it's the best. I mean, it is such an enlivening experience because I have to be ready for literally everything. I've always thought play by play is a test in that moment of everything you know, but yeah, we're not going to hit the range with anybody else that Bill hits. So I have to be ready for him to ask me, like, have you read Steve Martin's book? What do you think of Myanmar? Like, that's the range, that's the spectrum. And it really is like doing a crossword puzzle, except nobody tells you how many letters are in the word. And frankly, there are no clues. You just have to go and say words and see if you can follow along.
Is there one thing that he said to you on a broadcast that either surprised you or made you laugh, caught you off guard more than the rest that sticks out?
I mean, there's so many. The time that he asked if my father ever played for Jerry Tarkanian, and I said no, my dad was an air traffic controller. And then he was like, "But did he play for Jerry Tarkanian?" I mean, you just keep going. When he did the White Sox game with me, and the first question he asked James McCann in our post game interview, he had a bunch of eye black on, and Bill said, "What is that under your eyes?" That was the first question. It's like doing a game with the mind of an 8-year-old in the best way. You know how kids will just like say the thing that they see to their discredit sometimes? Like, that's what he does. And then he asked halfway through the interview, James was about to leave, and I said, "Okay, James, great job." And he said something like, "Bill, do you have any other questions?" And I said, "The rest of this is on you, okay? Because you had the chance to leave and you didn't." And then, but James loved it. He really enjoyed the whole experience. Um, and then Bill asked him, like, "What do you eat before a game?" This is a post game interview. It's supposed to be like 3 questions. It just kept going and going and going. But I truly think the most ridiculous thing we have done together actually involves a Tiger. Uh, Early 2020, before the pandemic hit, Bill and I had an Arizona State basketball game, and his producer for a lot of games, Tim Sullivan, who is just awesome. Sully had the idea that we would go to Arizona State baseball, and Spencer Torkelson was playing for the Sun Devils at the time, and he was going to be the first overall pick. And he had this idea, Sully did, that Torque would teach Bill Walton how to hit. So we did a whole bit where Bill is in catcher's gear and he's like starting to play catcher. And then Bill, wearing the catcher's gear, goes into the batting cage wearing full catcher's gear. And Torque is trying to teach him how to hit. And it was an absolute just gushing nightmare geyser of fun. And Torque still remembers it. Like, I went into the Tigers clubhouse in June this year, and Spencer came up to me and was like, "How's Bill?" I said, "You remember that?" And he's like, "Of course I remember that." So, but it is the spectrum that you cover with Bill Walton. If you like creativity, I suggest it.
Did you have total trust in Bill's filter that whatever he was going to say or wherever he was taking a story, it was going to be fit for a national audience?
Who cares is my answer. That's the fun part. Fit for a national audience is such a movable standard, and fit for his moral compass is what I knew it would be.
Yeah.
And I also know that, I have my own personal parachute there as well. Like, I don't have to play along per se. If he says something that I don't agree with, I do want to be a good partner. But like, that's the fun of it. The fun of it is you don't know, and you're not certain exactly where it's going to end up, and you react. I mean, my body has never let me be a quarterback, but the idea of like, okay, you're going to have 3 seconds max to throw this pass unless you're really good and evasive. Like, you better know your reads real fast, and you better make that choice. That's fun to watch with like Peyton Manning. It's fun to watch with all these quarterbacks who do it at a high level with Patrick Mahomes. It's fun to do, and that's my only way of doing it in life.